In this video, I want to talk about trade entries and I want to talk about a pound trade that I did last night. Okay. I also want to cover my process, what I do at the start of the day. Okay. Now, firstly, I trade the New York 9:30 a.m. That's my preferred time of trading. That doesn't mean I won't trade any other time, but that is typically when I like to enter the market. Okay, 9:30 a.m. New York time, which is basically the New York session. Okay, you're looking at a chart of a pound. This is the trade that I want to walk you through. Now, first, I want to go through what I look for. Okay, I like to look at the news, what's going on the day. So, yesterday was Thursday, so it's this day here. Now, there's no news until at least 8:30 a.m. New York time, okay? So what that means is, when I'm looking at this and I'm saying this is the London session, this is before any news release, right? So this London session opens at 2 a.m. and it closes at 5 a.m. I'm looking at this and the market's moving up, right? We've moved up from, on the day, almost 75 pips. There's 25 pips in this box, there's 25 pips in this box, and there's another 25 pips in this box. Okay, that's 75 pips. Why are we moving up? That's the first question I ask myself. If there's no news on the day, what's driving this market? Is this a false move? And in my opinion, yes, it is a false move. Now, I then try to find where is the market going to find some level of resistance. Now, I like to use what I term gaps in the market. Okay, where there's an imbalance, there's a turning point in the market. So as the market's moving up, I want to see where could it potentially reverse from. I do have a horizontal blue line here, which is where I identified on this day last night, which is yesterday's trading, the 25th of April, which was a Thursday. I identified that that would be a potential level of resistance, just a turning point. Okay, think of it as a turning point. On the way up, that's a turning point, and therefore the market may start to find some resistance there and may turn around. On the way down, that may be a support level, and the market may find a level of support, and that may become a turning point. So that's all support and resistance is, just turning points in the market. Let me switch over to a H1 chart, an hourly chart, and let me see if I can show you where I drew this blue line, where I found or identified what may be a potential turning point in the market for the pound. If I go over to the left, actually not the hourly chart, this looks like it was on a daily chart. So let me go to a daily chart. Okay. So yes, there we go. Now you can see that the market has a nice move down, then there's a nice move up. Okay. On this day here, whatever day that is, the day is irrelevant. There's a massive down bar. Okay. During that move down, the market left a gap. Okay, what's a gap? I have spoken about this. If you want to learn more about gaps, go and look at my Euro scalping strategy video on the channel. Okay, it consists of 3 bars. That's how you identify a gap. Let me make this bigger so you can see this. Okay, I can't make it any bigger. So you got one bar here on the left, then you got a middle bar, and then you got a third bar. Now I'm going to want you to look at this first bar. So 1 bar, middle bar, and a third bar. Look at the wicks here. I've got a blue line on the first bar. Okay, the market's gone down, and in the third bar, the market, you can see there's a wick here. This is price moving up. Price moving up. So this is downside price delivery and this is upside price delivery. Okay, the market's moved up. It's come back down again, but it's moved up and offered price up to that point, but it hasn't gone all the way. There's been no buy price delivery in that small area between the wick on the left and the wick on the right. Okay, so price at some point in the future needs to come back in there as it has done yesterday. That there then becomes a level of resistance, a turning point in the market. It may not, it could go through, but that's where I like to identify particular turning points. Okay, that's how I identify turning points in the market. So for example, if we were to now start coming back down from that level, we can see there's 1, 2, 3 bars here, there's a gap here. Okay, on this daily chart where this bar on the left and the middle bar here has only offered by price delivery, right? Price has only moved up. It's come back down a little bit on this third bar, but there's a gap here between those two, well, inside of those 3 bars. Price needs to deliver downside price, right, to balance that. And then perhaps continue going up or continue going down, whatever the direction of the market is at that point in time. But that's what a gap is, and it works on all time frames. The higher the time frame, the stronger, the more important that gap is. So I can, for example, now that I've seen this, I like to just draw a little box there, just so that I know that if price comes back down in that level in the future, well, then that's something to be aware of. Okay, I would expect, I'm not saying price is going to come down into there, but if we do start to turn around and then we do get into that level, then that could be a potential turning point in the market, right? That's how I use these gaps. So coming back to my chart, I had a blue line where there was a gap on my chart already drawn, and that is where I was expecting some kind of resistance. Okay, so that's why that blue line was there. So coming back to what I'm saying, the market's going up, and my question is why? Why is it going up? There's been no news release. There's nothing going on. Typically, if there is a day where there is going to be news, well, the market's going to move at that point in time, not prior. Any prior move to news is basically false. So I'm already thinking this is a false move up. I've already identified where could this turn around from. Okay, and obviously the market then moved down. Now I've got another square here. Okay, and you can see that the market has come down into that level and has had a turning point. right? It's had a turning point. That square, if you look to the left, is another gap. Right, you can see there's 3 candles, right? 3 candles. One to the left, one in the middle, one to the right. And inside of those 3 candles, there's only been buy-side price delivery. Yes, we've had a bit of a downside, sell-side price delivery, but it hasn't completely balanced out that price. And so you can expect at some point in the future, as we can see on the same day, price has come back down into that level. And you can see that the body, look at the bodies of these candles. Isn't that amazing how the bodies of the candles have remained precisely within that level? Absolutely amazing. And that's a turning point for me. I identify. That's all I look for. I look for those areas on the chart where there could be a potential turning point. It doesn't mean it always is going to work, okay? But you can see that when you start to see that it is holding and it's at the right time, then you may have a potential opportunity. So if I look at this move down, this is now the news, right? This is 8:30 a.m. New York time, where the market has come down and come down and come down and has found some level of support at that turning point, which is a gap in the market, okay? Now, as I said, I like to trade the 9:30 a.m. New York opening, okay? So when I see this, the market's coming down, this is all before 9:30 a.m., right? The news was at 8:30. This, for me now, is important because we are at the low of the day, okay? We've now just taken out anyone that was long on this false move up, okay? And I'm looking for a turning point. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a shift in the trend. At the moment, the trend is down. What I'm looking for specifically is, before that 9:30, I want to see, or at or around at 9:30, I want to see a shift in the market, okay? So if we look at this point here, this is the last move up. So on this downtrend, you got down, up, down, up, down. It doesn't continue, right, like it has on the previous down moves. It hasn't made a new low, right? This move down, up, new low. Up, lower high, but down doesn't take out a low, okay? What it does instead is make a higher high, right? So I can see that is now a shift in market direction. Now, you've got to put it all together. Just that on its own is not enough, okay? You've got to have a false move up, a resistance level at the top, something that's then driving the market down, coming into a key support level, must be at the low of the day, low of the week. So all of those things are important. It's not just identifying, oh, we've got a higher high, now I'm going to buy. No, it's putting all of those elements together, okay? Let me repeat, you've got to move that is basically false. I've talked about why that could be false. It's coming to a key resistance level on a daily resistance level, very powerful signal. Okay, we've got there's a news day, massive move down to take out all the longs, the long traders. Okay, who bought down here into the low of the day. This is the low of the day. Okay, into a turning point, a gap. Right. Then we have a shift in the direction. And when do we have it? If I put my mouse here, this market, the New York market, opens at 8 a.m. New York time. Don't look at the time on my charting platform. That's different. Then at 8 a.m. the market goes down. The news release is at 8:30. Okay. Now at 9:15, we're at the low of the day. As I said, I like to look for my trades in that time. Right. I want to trade at 9:30 a.m. time, around that time when the equities market opens. At 9:15, we make another low. So 9:30. This here is 9:30. After that, we make a higher high. Okay. Now I'm interested because this is in my time zone. Right? This is when I like to trade. This is the key time. So this is happening at a key time at a very important price level. After getting some resistance at the top, after getting a false move to the upside that's now been taken, now I'm looking for a key time. Okay. So I have now decided I'm going to buy this market because we've got to move to the upside, and I'm now looking for a low buy opportunity. Okay. And I like to buy at the start of a 15-minute candle. So for example, I could buy at 9 a.m. Typically I won't because I like to trade after 9:30 New York time. I could buy at the 9:15 candle or the 9:30 candle. Okay. I won't buy at the 9:45 candle. Okay. So it's only the 9 a.m. candle, which is at the hour. I call that at the hour. So at the start of a new hour, that's really when I like to enter my trades. Or at the start of the second 15-minute candle, which is at 9:30, right? Level. So it's either 9 a.m. or 9:30 or 10 a.m., which is again at the start of the hour, or 11 a.m., which I typically won't do because that's basically the end of the session. But it's basically at the start of the hour or in the midpoint in that 30 minutes, 9:30, okay, or at the new hour, 10 a.m. They're my key times. Now, I will trade outside of that, don't get me wrong, but these are the key times, okay? If I see an opportunity where I believe that the market's going to, if I see the setup at 9:15, I will take it, but it's just rare, okay? The stronger setups are at 9:30 or 10 a.m. in the New York session, okay? So I see this market now at this is 10 a.m. The market moves down again into the low of the day at the support area. Okay, and I've already spoken about what that support area is. Now, I already have a bias to the upside because I've seen we're now making a high. I've just made a higher high, and this is that low. And then when I start to see the market start to move up, right, in that first 15 minutes of that new hour, I'll typically buy that to the long side. Okay, that's my entry on the pound. Now, typically what I will do is I'll switch over to a 1-minute chart. Okay, and you won't understand this until you read the charts on a continuous basis. Okay, and so I'm looking at this on a 1 minute chart. As I said, on different time frames, I'm switching at different time frames. I can see there's a shift in the market direction. Okay, this here is at 9. This is 9:17. This here is at 9:30. Okay, after 9:30, we get this move up. Okay, and then at the new hour, I see that we're coming down into the low of the day, into the key support area. I want to see this market, and this is nice, 3 candles down. I love to see that 3 candles down at the right time. Then I want to see that we're holding that level and we're starting to move up, and I'll kind of buy in that first 15 minutes of that new hour. Okay, and my target's going to be somewhere back up to the high of the day or through the high of the day, depending on the time. Okay, so this is not a fairy tale. This is not me showing you how I would have traded this. This is exactly how I traded this, and so I will bring up my trade journal to show you the entry and the exit. Okay, so I typically trade a 10 lot. That's typically my normal size. Size is going to depend on your own account size, your own risk management. This is how I'm trading. Okay, so you can adjust the size based on your own account, your own risk tolerance levels. So the entry was 1.247, which you can see is around that low of the day, right? 1.246 is there, so 1.247 is somewhere around there. Okay, close to the low of the day, close to where my box there is for the gap. And the exit was 1.25, which is right there. You can see at that resistance level, 1.25. Okay, so maybe a bit more, maybe around about 35 pips. Okay, but a nice quick move up into the resistance from a key support level. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense. You really got to go back and look at these charts. Okay, looking at this on a 5-minute chart is actually quite clean. You can see a very clean shift in market direction. You can see there's a new high at the right time. This down candle is right on 10 a.m. New York session. Okay, that's important. If I see that at 10 a.m. after it's taken a high out, we come back down at 10 a.m. into a key support level on a day that I'm now bullish because we've had this false move. We've had this move down, and we're now holding a support level. I can see the shift in the market direction. Then I'm going to take that trade. I'm going to be looking for an entry on that trade. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. As I said, you've got to really go back and look at these charts, practice them, test them, refine them. They've got to fit on your own personality. And as you're watching this video, you've got to look at this on your own chart, on your own computer, so that you train your brain how it looks on your own computer, on your own chart setup with your own colors and whatever you're using, whatever platform you're using. Because if you're just looking at this video as an entertainment, you won't really be able to identify these in real time. Okay, so I hope it was useful. I will now talk with you in a future video.